This is U.S. Immigration Attorney Sharifa Tharpe. I'm here live to take your U.S. immigration related questions. So put your questions in the comments now. So I am decked out in Halloween gear, so don't mind me. I have to leave from here and go straight to take the kids trick or treating. But I always have to connect with you all. So I want to be able to answer your questions today. So put your questions in the comments so that I can answer your questions now. But while I am waiting for questions to come in, what I'm going to say now, I'm going to give you a piece of advice just based on my own experience. Hi, Bhaskar. It's nice to see you. Now, you may be in a situation where you are married to a spouse and they are promising to get your papers. And it has been a while and they have not made that move. In addition to that, you're noticing that they're using this immigration process against you, but you constantly hang on. You know in your gut that something is off with this, they shouldn't be doing this to you, but you keep hanging on thinking, one, your spouse is going to change. They're going to change for the better and get you your papers. Maybe if you do more, they're going to get you your papers. And you think that they're going to change. They're going to change. They're going to change their minds and eventually get these papers for you. Here's a piece of advice I have, because I have seen my clients go through this. So I know, based on just watching a multitude of people go through the same thing, they will not change. And even if they lead you on to get your papers, if they're treating you this way, they're going to put you through hell even while you're going through this process. And they may even sabotage. And I shouldn't even say may. I know for a fact they're going to do one. They're either going to withdraw the papers at some point or show up at the interview and then sabotage your immigration process. I've seen it so many times that I can tell you that that is the likely result. So if your spouse is leading you on, they're demanding money from you, they're using the immigration process against you, you holding it over your head, they're likely not going to they're going to see to it that you don't get that green card. Now that I've warned you about this, there is a solution. You can apply for your own green card when you're being mistreated by this spouse, which that is the number one red flag that you are going through a form of mistreatment. This is a confidential process that will see to it that you are protected. So make sure that you schedule your appointment with us so we can determine whether this is going to be the right path for you. Break down the total timeline for VAWA. So great transition into questions. Here's how it looks. So first we file the application, we prepare it, we file it. Once we file it, 2 to 4 weeks after filing, we're going to get the receipt notice. And then about a month to 2 months after that, you're going to be scheduled for your biometrics appointment. The biometrics appointment is a background check that helps them to determine whether you have any inadmissibilities related that has anything to do with anything in your background. Then the work permit comes. The work permit comes around the 6-month to the 12-month mark. It's going to be a 5-year work permit. Right now, they're issuing 5-year work permits, and we usually apply for the travel document for our clients at the same time. Just in case something comes up, at least you have that document. So the travel document and the work permit comes on a combo card about 6 months to 12 months after filing. After that, you're able to then wait for the green card to be approved, which at around the 2.5-year mark after filing to the 3-year mark after filing is when that approval will come and you'll be able to get your green card. They automatically then transition into processing for the green card once you've been approved for the VAWA petition. So that's a timeline, and the number one benefit here, the gold here, why it is worth going through this process is, one, you get your peace. That scenario that I just told you about, which is happening to many people. I just saw somebody here say they're going through that same thing. You get your peace. You control your process, not your spouse. You don't have to worry about that risk that they're going to intentionally sabotage your process and then possibly permanently bar you from getting the green card. So you get stability during that time and you get reassurance that this is within your hands and not your spouse's. So this is where it's important to give us a call, schedule your appointment. We have three of us as attorneys who are doing these appointments. So go ahead and choose the best schedule based on your own availability. All right. So let me go. I'm going to speed through questions because I do have to head out to take the kids trick-or-treating. Will USCIS find out if you claim to be a citizen on an I-9 as a minor? It's likely. The I-9, they do have access to I-9 records and it can be pulled up in the background check. So they will see that. How does it work with a resident through VAWA? So once you're married to a resident, it becomes a two-step process because right now there's a wait list. It might come a point where there's no wait list, but here's what I say. If you're a resident, if you're an immigrant married to a resident, the time is to apply now because then you get, the sooner you apply, the sooner you get on that wait list. The wait list right now, the wait list I'm seeing, depending on the date that you file, is anywhere from 2 months to 10 months. So we filed for our client in June, and now we can apply for their adjustment of status because the wait list, they're at the top of the wait list. So it's important to apply now. Once you apply, we first apply for the petition, and then when we see that your priority date is current, which is the wait list, we can apply for your adjustment of status, your work permit, your travel document. Then you'll get the work permit, travel document, and go on the path to get the green card while staying here in the US. Will USCIS find, so I answered that. Good evening. It's nice to see you. What state am I? I'm located in Florida. However, we represent clients in all 50 states and the globe, and we're very good at that. Can change my status if I'm on H-2B visa? Yes, if you qualify. So you can't just automatically change status because you have H-2B, but do you qualify through family member, through an employer, through other means to do that? Been waiting for my condition to be lifted for 5 years. Wow, that's a long time. And that's really unusual. Can you tell me what's going on? So in cases where I've seen it take longer than usual, sometimes that means there may be an issue with your application. You need to contact them to figure out what's going on, if there's any kind of anything they need. And then if you're outside of the processing times, you can even submit an inquiry to give them a nudge to process your case. How long more I have to wait for my alien relative petition decision after my one passed? So the alien petition I-130, it takes 9 to 12 months on average. If you're the immediate relative, it could take more if you're in another category. All right. Keep putting those questions in the comments. I'm going to run through very quickly. How long for VAWA to be approved? So I answered that. So 2.5 to 3 years. Please break down the total timeline for the VAWA. So Glove Master, I did that. How long does it take to get the work permit after biometrics is done on a T visa application? So we're still waiting to see how long they're going to take to process the work permits. I am betting on 3 to 6 months, but you can't hold me to it because this is a new process. So we're all going through it together. But as soon as I start to see a pattern, then I can give you a more accurate information about the processing times. I am 22. Could my little sister qualify under my T visa petition? No, because you're 22, unfortunately not. But if you have faced any kind of threats, the trafficker poses a threat to you and your family, then your little sister could definitely qualify in that case. So if you have an attorney already, make sure you talk to your attorney. If not, give us a call. Let's talk about what happened and then get started. Can I take a cruise to Bahamas with advanced parole obtained through VAWA? Now, what can you specifically take that? I can't tell you that. I have had clients that have gone on cruises with the travel document, no problem. But keep in mind that the risk is not zero, and we have to understand your specific facts to be able to tell you whether the risk is low or the risk is high, because there's always going to be a risk. If someone entered with F1 visa and stay more than 1 year after, can he still file for asylum? If you have a good reason. So this is where it's important to get an evaluation. Will trafficker find out if you file for a T visa? No, it's completely confidential. Immigration does not disclose that. Can we get advanced parole during a non-immigrant status? How safe? How safe is it to travel on advanced parole? I don't know what kind of non-immigrant status. Would have to figure that out. Usually, uh, if you are here on a non-immigrant status, you changed over to one, there's no travel document for that. But I don't know what kind of, process you're going through. All right, currently an approved I-130 with current marriage, but a removal order from 25 years ago due to, so if you have a removal order more than 25 years ago, you may need to go back to the court, get it reopened and terminated. So that's a whole process. So this is where it's important to schedule an appointment, and let's talk about the process, just depending on the facts. And it depends too, if the order of removal, what is it involving? Because that also is going to play a big role in whether we can find that solution for you. Does adding a child slow down the process? No, it doesn't. Good evening. Is it best if a citizen goes to Jamaica to marry her boyfriend, or it's best if he comes here, they get married, the young man has a visa? Now, keep in mind, you can't make plans in advance for your relative to come in on a visa and get married. The immigration does consider that fraud or misrepresentation. However, say your boyfriend is happening to visit, and then while being here, you decide that, okay, you want to get married and start your lives together now. You change your mind after he comes into the country, then you can do adjustment of status. With that being said, adjustment of status right now is better and faster than adjustment of status is when you're here. It is much faster than being outside of the country. Being outside of the country is 2 years, a year and a half to 2 years. Being here in the US, we just got a green card for our client in a marriage-based process, 10 months without an interview. Do you speak Spanish? We have an attorney who speaks Spanish, Attorney Diana. So Attorney Diana, you can schedule with Attorney Diana. We work very closely together on the cases. So go ahead, schedule with Attorney Diana. Just go to the link in the profile and schedule with Attorney Diana. And also our staff, a majority of our staff are Spanish speakers. Can someone travel locally in America with a valid passport but expired visa with it? I've had clients that have done that. The risk isn't zero when it comes to that, but clients do that all the time. Does adding a child, so I answered that. Good evening. How can I file for a green card? I'm a H-2B. You have to qualify through employment, through family, through different means, like the kinds that I talk about. U visa, T visa. U visa takes very long, but the T visa is another alternative option, just depending though on the facts there. Thanks so much, Queen Bess. I appreciate that. All right. So if you lost your card, then just reapply. Submit an I-90 to get a replacement if you lost your green card. I'm a student in the US with F1 status, married to a green card holder. How long does it take to get SSN and work permit if I apply for VAWA? So first we have to wait for your priority date to be current. and that just depends on the date. And then we can apply for your card. So it can range anywhere from 2 months to 10 months. And we don't have control over how long the priority date takes to become current, but that's an estimate right now. Can I file my citizenship without my resident card? So I've done that for my client. Yes. So one of my clients entered the country in, I think, in the 1990s. No, it was 2013. She came in 2013, never got her card, never got her green card, never got a state ID, never got her social security number. And we went ahead, and what we did was we filed for a replacement. And then when we got her a stamp for an I-551 proving she's a US permanent resident, and then applied for her citizenship, and she was approved. So yes, it's possible. Good evening. Are there good payment options available to fund? Yes, we have payment plans. Absolutely. So give us a call. Do the consultation first. Let's make sure you qualify, that we can help you, and then move forward there. They transfer my I-485 to where my VAWA case is, and they're waiting on RFE. Will they approve the green card? When they approve it's likely you'll see an approval, unless there's something in your background that could disqualify you from getting the green card. But I would say getting an approval on the VAWA is going to be the biggest achievement. That's the big obstacle. Once you get there, it's downhill from there. Downhill in a good way, as in it's easier. It gets easier. Good evening. I'm interested in getting a work permit, but I need to find the sponsor myself. So employers can't get you a work permit. They can get you your green card if you're here, or they're gonna get you a visa. So this is where it's very important to understand what process you qualify for. Is it wise to get an emergency travel permit to attend a funeral in your home country? Yes, don't travel without one. If you travel without one, they will not let you back into the country. So yes, it's absolutely wise to get an emergency travel permit. And I really hope you haven't lost anybody, but if you have, my condolences, and get that emergency travel document. There are tools at uscis.gov where you can schedule your emergency travel document appointment, and then they'll ask for evidence. Usually they want to see proof of the emergency, so they're going to ask for the death certificate, and then they will issue that emergency travel document. It can be done in as little as 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks to get it. How long do I have to be working with someone who abused you? There's no timeline. If this happened one day, you can qualify. So give us a call and let's get started. I'm married, US citizen. I'm waiting my green card almost 2 years. So this is where, that is a long time for marriage based. And, we'd have to figure out what's happening there. I-130 has been actively reviewed for 12 months. Yes, I've seen it sit there for that long. Can I live and work in the US and I have a visitor's visa? No, you can't. Visitor's visas are explicitly prohibited from working. And if they find out you're working, there's going to be a big problem. So no, you can't. Good evening. While holding T visa, how long to take before we can apply for green card? You can get started on that process right away through an early adjustment of status process. You have to first get permission to apply for adjustment of status. When we get that permission letter for you, then you can apply for adjustment of status, or you can wait 3 years and then apply for adjustment of status. How can I renew a H-2B visa that has been expired from 2022? That time has passed, so you wouldn't be able to renew that. And then if you've overstayed, then you could be facing, you have a bar. So it's not that simple. There's no renewal there. I got a DUI, did complete the class and court referral program. After completion, the charges were dropped. I have all paperwork to show this. Will this affect my married green card? Not necessarily. It just depends on the facts. Whenever you have a criminal offense, you need to get an attorney. One DUI may not be a problem, but it depends on the facts. You got a DUI, but what were the facts? Was there a victim involved? What are the state rules on it? And does it mean that you committed a crime involving moral turpitude? Based on my experience, I don't believe a DUI is a crime involving moral turpitude, but I always research criminal offenses from the start, because it depends on what the law says, the state law says about that criminal offense. I'm a student in the US with F1 status, married to a green card holder. How long does it take to get SSN and work permit if I apply for VAWA? So I believe I answered that. Already got SSN and work permit after getting married with a US citizen. How long to get the green card? So 10 to 12 months. Can an employer sponsor a green card when the employee filed a 589 in immigration court? If you've already overstayed your time, no, you wouldn't be able to. When you're applying, and if you're in immigration court, definitely not, because that means that you are out of status and you are in a removal proceedings looking to have your asylum considered as a defense to the removal. So that would mean that you wouldn't be able to be sponsored through the employer. What are my chances of getting approved on a T visa? It depends on your experience. This is where it's important to give me a call, or call the office, schedule your appointment with either me, attorney Bria, attorney Deanna, because we can tell you what we think your chances are after we hear your facts. If someone sponsors you to come to the US, can you apply for a food stamp for your child? If your child is a US citizen, you can, of course, always talk to be completely truthful. Don't claim US citizenship. Don't claim any kind of status that you don't truly have. But once your child is a US citizen, you're getting the food stamps on behalf of your child. How much longer to get an approval after I-130 move to electronic? So I'd say 9 to 12 months. All right, that's gonna be it for me today. Let me see. I love your questions. These are all great questions. So I keep going on and on and on. I'm a US citizen. How long is the wait for my husband and daughter to get their visa? So a year and a half to 2 years. Coming here from Canada without a visa and I-130 has been approved through husband and kids. So you need an adjustment of status as well to get your green card. Can I get my combo-based VAWA while pending asylum? Yes, absolutely. Can I get my combo VAWA while pending? So I answered that. Yes, if you qualify for VAWA, you can. Thanks so much, Andres. I appreciate that. Can I get my combo? So I answered that. What's the max time frame for a marriage case with a citizen? So I say 10 to 12 months. The max time on the website could be up to 3 years though. But on average, I'm seeing 10 to 12 months. Do you get SSN with T visa? Absolutely, yes. What if I came here with nothing since 92? I have a US citizen dad. Then give us a call and let's talk about what you've been through these past decades, and we can determine what the best option would be for you. Hi there, Sexy SL. I'm a citizen. I filed for my husband and his daughter a few months. How long? So I would say 10 to 12 months. All right. Do I have to pass an interview for the T visa? Typically, there are no interviews. They always reserve the right for an interview, but it is very rare that they schedule an interview. Please, do you have any idea of how long it takes to get a C9 EAD? That's a work permit, and I-131 approval on VAWA, 6 to 12 months. What is the next step to expect from immigration after T visa biometrics? Then next is usually a decision. The decisions right now are taking a year to a year and a half. Tamika, you're welcome. Good evening. So I answered that. Now, the question was in regards to the U visa. Whether you can get the travel document, having the U visa, whether it's safe. There's always a risk with getting a travel document when you have non-immigrant U status. So you really have to evaluate your risk in that regard. Always check with your attorney on it to make sure it's safe to apply for a travel document. I get biometrics appointment. Does that mean USCIS approved I-130? No, it just means they're checking your background first before they make a decision. All right, that's gonna be it for me, everybody. For those of you who do celebrate Halloween, have a great Halloween day with the kids. Or if it's your thing without you don't have any kids and it's still your thing to have fun. All right, so have a good day. I will work to get on here tomorrow. So please, if you're available, look out for me to hop on, and then we can all come on and I can answer questions for you. Keep in mind that this is not personalized legal advice, it's general information. If you want personal legal advice and for us to help you to get your papers, that's where I am depending on you to make sure you get in touch with us. Go to the link in the profile to schedule your appointment. All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.